human brain. The brain is divided into three parts: the forebrain, the midbrain, and the hindbrain. The forebrain is the largest part of the brain, most of which is made up of the cerebrum, also known as telencephalon and diencephalon. The cerebrum is divided into two halves called cerebral hemispheres. Each hemisphere is hollow internally and their walls have two regions: the outer cortex, that is grey matter, and the inner white matter. Grey matter contains cell bodies of neurons. Grey matter is highlight folded to form the convolutions, and these folds are known as gyri, and the grooves are called sulci. Sulci and gyri increase surface area to accommodate more neurons. It is believed that a large number of convolutions in the human brain indicates greater intelligence, as it contains more intelligence. White matter mainly consists of axons or neurons. The two cerebral hemispheres are connected by a sheet of fibers called the corpus callosum. Its function is to transfer the information from one cerebral hemisphere to the other. The right hemisphere controls voluntary limb movements on the left side of the body, and the left hemisphere controls voluntary limb movements on the right side of the body. Almost every person has one dominant hemisphere. The cerebrum is associated with higher brain function such as thought and action. Each hemisphere is divided into four lobes or areas which are interconnected. The frontal lobes are located in the front of the brain and are responsible for voluntary movement and participate in the execution of speech output, mood, and memory. The parietal lobes are located behind the frontal lobes and in front of the occipital lobes. They process sensory information such as temperature, pain, taste, and touch. In addition, the processing includes information about numbers and attentiveness. The temporal lobes are located on each side of the brain. They process memory and auditory, that is hearing information, also deal with the speech and language functions. The occipital lobes are located at the back of the brain. They receive and process visual information. The diencephalon is the posterior part of forebrain. It contains structures such as the thalamus and hypothalamus. Thalamus is located at the base of the hemispheres. It relays sensory impulses such as pain to cerebrum. Hypothalamus is located below the thalamus, and it regulates autonomic functions such as appetite, thirst, and body temperature. It also secretes hormones that stimulate or suppress the release of hormones. For example, growth hormone in the pituitary gland. The midbrain, also known as the mesencephalon, is a short, constricted portion which connects the forebrain and the hindbrain. Mesencephalon consists of cranial nerves which control the reflexes involving eyes and ears. The hindbrain, also called the rhombencephalon, is a brainstem connecting the brain with the spinal cord. It is composed of the metencephalon and the myelencephalon. The metencephalon contains structures such as the pons and cerebellum. while the myelencephalon contains medulla oblongata. Cerebellum is located just behind the cerebrum, above the medulla oblongata. Like cerebrum, it is also divided into two lateral hemispheres, which are connected by the medial part called vermis. Each hemisphere has a central core made of white matter and an outer region made of grey matter. The main function of the cerebellum is to maintain balance of body and coordinate muscular activity. Pons is also a part of the metencephalon. It is a broad and horseshoe-shaped mass of nerve fibers. It is located below the cerebellum. It serves as a bridge between the midbrain and the medulla oblongata. It is also the point of origin or termination for 4 of the cranial nerves that transfer sensory information and motor impulses to and from the facial region and the brain. Myelencephalon, or the medulla oblongata, is the lowest part of the brainstem and is continuous posteriorly with the spinal cord. It has a central core made of grey matter and an outer region made of white matter. Medulla oblongata contains several functional centers that control autonomic nervous activity, regulate respiration, heart rate, and digestive processes. Other activities of the medulla include control of movement, relaying of somatic sensory information from internal organs, and control of arousal and sleep. Injuries or disease affecting the middle portion of the medulla oblongata may produce paralysis of the opposite side of the body, loss of the senses of touch and position, or partial paralysis of the tongue. Injuries or disease of the lateral medulla may cause loss of pain and temperature sensations, loss of the gag reflex, difficulty in swallowing, vertigo, vomiting, or loss of coordination.